Georgina Ragaven, good morning. Thank you to be the invité of l'écho du Mercredi. So first question, we see you everywhere, but who is Georgina Ragaven?
Jesse, is it a bad thing to be everywhere? I feel when I came to Mauritius, I came as a spouse of a Mauritian with a mission. I came off the plane, rolled up my sleeves and started running to see what I could do to help. So who's Georgina Ragaven? I'm a woman, and I'm proud to be a woman. I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a caregiver, but I'm also, in a nice way, ambitious to help other people, other women as well. So my mission, get out there and see what you can do to help as much as you can. So I'm just another human being, the same as everybody else.
You're also the MD of Star Connection Limited.
I am. That's my own company, so I'm an entrepreneur. That's one of my hats. I'm an entrepreneur because I enjoy helping other people. Again, Star Connections, we make you a star. So we take the person or their company and create an image for them. That's basically what we are. Nothing to do with tarot reading or the astrology, but Star Connections is to make you and your company a star.
You have been appointed as Executive Director of WIN Limited. So is it another hat for Georgina Ragaven?
It's my new adventure, as I call it. It's my new adventure. WIN, I've been involved with WIN since 2006 in one way or another. I've been a champion for their different objectives across the way, 9 years now. We are a réseau of different associations that came together, and we have the same vision: empower women in Mauritius. That's my new mission at the moment.
But you could be the executive champion. You have been champion. I've seen a lot of champions. Why do you have this title of executive director? You could be executive champion.
The board decided to put in place a part-time executive director because this would be one of the small paid roles, i.e. I will get my petrol and my telephone bill paid. The rest is social work. And as WIN is a réseau of volunteers to help. So this is why the executive came into being. We needed someone to help put into place all our actions and our programs. We needed someone who was going to follow the cause of WIN and make sure that everything was done and followed up. Because when you're volunteers, you have your own jobs, you have your own work to look after. So we just needed someone to sort of like tidy up the little dots and, you know, make it a smoother transition. Don't forget, over 9 years, a lot has happened for WIN. So now we are growing, we're having more projects, more people coming to us, and we also need somebody who's going to help look for funds to get these projects going.
This is why Women in Networking has come in a company, WIN Limited. This is the reason why.
We are a non-for-profit company. We are a non-for-profit company, so we are an NGO. Okay? All our projects are done not for money, but done in a sense just to keep the réseau going.
How are you going to plan for that?
Well, we have projects which we're going to look either for CSR funding, but we also have a training centre now. WIN has been registered as a training centre with the MQA. So some of our courses to corporates can be at a minimal fee. Corporate will get their MQA registration, but at the same time we can make something to keep WIN rolling. So that's the whole idea. The idea is to make it, well, WIN has always been self-financing, but through sponsorship. Now let's look at taking it to a different level and having some funding for the courses that we're running.
Can we tell what WIN is trying to professionalize the world of NGO? To put professional at the head instead of...
If we all work together in one vision, if we have programs where we could help the NGOs with capacity building. So of course we're willing to work with NGOs and we're willing to work with other institutions looking after NGOs. But let's have a professional view, and especially now that there has been this question mark over how CSR will be strategized, it's nice to have some kind of a vision. How does CSR go from here? Where does it go from here? Will there be some new guidelines? Will there not be some new guidelines? If there's not any guidelines, how do you work as an NGO?
My question is it the will of the board of directors of WIN to have a professional NGO?
We are, yes. Not just for us, but every NGO. There should be ethics. There should be some guidelines. Because whether you're an NGO or not, you need to have some kind of standards. How do you work? And your professionalism comes through your actions. And this is what we're looking at. So yes, let's professionalize NGOs.
So, Georgina, you have been very close to some CSR projects. I've seen you in Mercredi, in Pierre Rouge, at Les Rochers, and elsewhere, and Albion.
Yes.
So, your post is connected, but you know how to deal with the CSR managers, maybe some CSR managers?
It's not just dealing with the CSR managers, it's having the right project. If you have the right project, a company will fund it. If you don't have the right project, they have the right to refuse. So and also it's your approach. If you can fight your cause, if you believe in your project, then CSR funds will come to the project. If you yourself as either a consultant or the executive director, if you don't fight for your cause, if you don't believe in the project you take out there, no one's going to fund it.
But for you, it will be easier because you have been in charge of some CSR project. You have some big companies, we can say.
If the company wants the project, each company has a guideline of what they're going to follow, and especially international companies. So if the project I have, whether it's for WIN or anything else, is in their scope of CSR, great. If it's not, they'll just say no to me as well. I don't make the final decision. Their board of directors does.
But you know where they can go. You know how you feel because you have been in some of these teams.
Let's put it this way. I know who to tackle and who to tap into first. When they say no, I'll go somewhere else. So I'm not scared to say yes. I do know some of the CSR managers, and I do know some of the large companies.
Is there some project that we like to have some funds, some CSR funds?
We
know that there is a Men's Against Violence campaign. There's something else that you're about to do. Maybe I've heard. Maybe your political wing,
no,
women in.
I am not looking for funds for politics. I will put it straight. I am not looking for funds for politics.
WIP, I mean the.
But that's
the
not mine. We have a WIP team that looks after that. We have a dynamic WIP group that look after all of that to do with politics. I'm looking at training, either grassroots, BYB, or leadership, not the political wing, because CSR and politics is an objective of WIN.
So as an executive director, you're not responsible for
not the
anything.
Funding. Not the funding. I will help the champion write her project, go and look for international funding for WIP, because in Mauritius, politics, CSR, we don't mix. If I'm looking for funds,
you're empowering women. From my point of view, you are empowered to empowerment of ladies, of women, of chef entrepreneurs to go. Everyone is asking for women to be in the administration.
If they want to go into politics, it's up to them. I would personally, and I'm sure WIN board for the same, we have an umbrella for WIP, Women in Politics, and we have a team there who have their own fundraising and a whole structure in place. We don't want to step on their toes, because we also understand that funding of political or any, because WIP is not a political party. It's a group of young women training other women. So if somebody wants to fund them, they can. However, under our strategy, even with the courses we run, the MQA, it's not the political arena at all. It's empowering women or entrepreneurs through our BYB program, through our gender awareness program, and through our leadership programs. From there, whoever wants to do what they take that knowledge and do with it is up to them.
So you said the word some minutes ago, but we have heard that the Minister of Finance said that, and the Minister of Social Integration confirmed that there is no more guidelines as from 2015. So in the coming months, as from July, how do you take it as somebody who has been in the CSR sector?
I remember when they first put the guidelines, we were having meeting after meeting saying, oh, it's not fair, they should allow the companies to do what they want. Then, when the guidelines came into place, we saw the reality that, okay, maybe it's not a bad thing. Now again, they take the guidelines away, but they haven't told you, okay, there's no guidelines, I understand, and there's a 38 pockets of poverty to work with, but there has to be some kind of a structure. Even if it's not maybe it's not going to be called guidelines, but I'm sure there has to be something to assist the decision makers where money should be going. Because without guidelines, it's like taking all the signposts out of Eben and letting everyone drive the way they want. It can become confusing, and that's not fair.
It won't become a copine thing, family business, because as far as I've seen CSR, it's the same person having the same funds from the same company.
It's a danger of what can happen if you take away the structure of something and you leave anyone to do whatever they want. And I'm sure within the next few months you will see there'll be something put in place. It may not be called guidelines, but there will be some kind of formal structure where the reporting has to be done more frequently, the company funding has to get more involved. There will be something where people will have to answer where their money goes.
You would like CSR to go in a particular field? I've seen that you have many fields: construction of homes, learning, small children, childhood development. In which field you would like the government to say, Dr. Mr. Ripon, I prefer that you put money in here but in there. Let's say boys are playing football, but in 2 years we don't know what is going on.
Alleviation of poverty has been something we've been talking about for a long time. You alleviate poverty with the correct education as well. So where do you draw the line, Jessie? Where do you say is more important? You understand? I personally have no right to say you can only put the money X, Y, or Z. We want to empower women, because when you empower a woman, you empower the family as well. But at the same time, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. But at the same time, these empowered women must be given the opportunity to go out and do something with their empowerment.
Would you like to have some professionals as CSR managers, who knows the project, who can go on the spot to see what has been done?
I cannot say that the people we have as CSR managers are not professional, because the ones I know are professional in their field, otherwise they wouldn't be there. Don't forget that each CSR manager is chosen by their respective company. So I presume they were chosen because they're professional. So I cannot say they're not professional. And especially the way it's been the last few years, because we've all had to do reporting in 3 months, 6 months, whatever project we've been looking after. So professionalism must be there. So it would not be ethical of me to say, oh, this manager is better than that manager.
I know you seem more professional, maybe, but by the way, you have more professional NGOs.
What I would like to see is the way NGOs are working. It's not the manager of the CSR component. Each NGO must be able to be answerable for where they are spending their money. This, yes. Although we do reporting and everything, but there's always the odd one that might slip through the loop. You understand? So, what I would like to see, what I would like to see is that every NGO working for the same cause, at least having some kind of a join the dots, and we see the knock-on effect.
Do you think in your training, Paul, formation, You would like to help these NGO,
That's what I'm
but
saying.
that might be asked.
Capacity building for the NGOs. Taking some of the modules we have for the leadership program, but letting the NGOs understand how to work as a team, how to set their goals. I'm not saying that all of them need it, but there are some that do need some kind of capacity building. And one of the criticism that was from before about the old system of CSR was that NGOs complained they had to do too much reporting. It was too administrative. But if you guide them how to be administrative, it won't be a burden. If they understand it's just a reporting system to be ethical. So it shouldn't be a burden.
So you're thinking that your formation, your training point will revamp the NGOs as it was working in the past?
No, if NGOs come to us for training and assistance, we're there to give it to them. We cannot say we're going to revamp the system. Only those who are willing to learn will come and join us. If they're not willing to learn, we know that they'll carry on in the same old.
How do you see the future of Win Limited?
We're going to
go
to newer heights. We're going to take it to greater levels. And I'd love to meet anybody out there who's interested in WIN. I would love to meet anybody out there who would like to empower women. I'm willing to meet any company that would like to have some gender awareness in-house training as well. All of our programs are MQA registered.
And if ever a company comes and say, you know, Georgina, we are very keen to do a parrainage, to sponsor a poverty spot. Are you going, Win Limited will be interested to be in the project?
Definitely, yes. Just give us a call, send me an email, check out the website, and we'd love to work with you. Even our program can go into these 38 pockets of poverty. Any of our programs can. So if there's a company out there, this is what we're looking for. We're looking for partners who will work with us to alleviate poverty as a team and make Mauritius a safer place to live in.
Georgina Ragaven, thank you very much.
Thank you.